Hey, it's Ariel Anderson. I don't know what happened with my live. Mercury retrograde is not finished with us yet. So we started a new one. Here we go. So hopefully you see that pop up when we get started. Okay, so today is fun facts, midlife pregnancy, fertility, and why. Why am I doing this today? Why do you need to know this? Well, the truth is that every time you go into Google or out into the world, the facts that pop up are not usually the fun ones. And I was thinking about this a lot and thought this is a day for inspiration, and that's what's coming up next. So, hi, if you don't know me, I'm Coach Ariel Anderson, and this is a space for talking about midlife or, fertility over 40, pregnancy. But really what it's about is, keeping you on track with your path inside of creating, whether that's a baby, a business, what you're meant to be creating on this planet, and connecting that with joy and health. Because when you're doing what you're meant to be doing, when you're feeling good about who you are and being yourself on the planet, all the rest comes. What you want to create, if it's that continuance of your family or family for the first time, regardless of your age, you get to have that, by the way. Just want to let you know. And I wanted to say it like this because there's just so much fear and, oh gosh, what if? And so that's a big piece of it. So thank you for joining us. If you're here for the first time, thank you. Definitely subscribe. We do this every week, and there's good things on the way. There's also a Google form down there if you want to help guide the direction of what's coming next. That'll be down in the description a few minutes or right after this. If you're returning, then you know what to expect here. There's spiritual meditation, there's digging in, and there's moments of just getting real. So let's just dive right in. So I'm curious. I don't know if you've got two devices next to you, but if you had a moment right now, I would have you just Google or whatever it is that you use to search things and Google midlife pregnancy or fertility over 40 or pregnancy over 40, something that calls your mind, and just Google it right now. Take a moment, and I can pretty much bet that you are going to have the same experience that I did every time that I did it over the last, over a decade probably. And it's not really encouraging. Now, granted, you had to be real about it. Yes, there can be, according to your history and what's happening with you now and your destiny, there can definitely be the chance that you'll have regardless of your age, is my own opinion. Yes, there might be statistics which show the possibilities could be greater for one thing or another, but my experience is that it's very much determined by your own fate and destiny, that there's some lesson, there's something that you wanted to learn, there's some agreement, there's some big learning. And I know that's a really harsh thing to say, but I find that I personally, it's not about inviting things in. It's just there's something in your gift that it's connected with that. And I don't wish that on anyone, but it can be possible. So I don't want to take away the fact that, of course, that could be. That said, I think there's a lot on the way that you can do to reorient that. And so part of that is, coming into the yay of what it can be like midlife and pregnancy. So I had to write things down because my brain, mostly works. But so the first thing I wanted to just say is that for me personally, I remember 10 years before I got pregnant, which I was, let's say, in my late 30s, and I was with somebody. He was quite a bit younger than I was, maybe 10, 11 years younger. And he said, look, I don't want to have a kid for another 10 years. And I was thinking, oh my God, I'd be so old by then. By the way, I was even older. But the other thing that was important that I wanted to mention, because this is part of the fun fact part, is that he realized along the way, like, no, wait, time out here. I don't I don't think we kind of had a mutual breakup, very strong, because we both had ahas at the same time. And one of them for him was, your PMS, right before your period, is so strong and so intense. I can't even imagine what it would be like during pregnancy. Like, no way, I'm not signing up for that. Now, first of all, if you've been in any of my videos before, you know that your relationship, your support system, or lack thereof, massively affects your stress levels during your cycle and definitely during pregnancy. So if you have the right partner and the right for you, by the way, not right for you to be able to relax and kind of exhale into and trust, then you're going to be way more relaxed. It's going to be a completely different experience than if you don't. And do you know what I'm talking about here? Do you know that feeling? Have you noticed in your month, if you're still having your periods, because maybe you're not, that there's this moment of, if you have intense things going on in your relationship or your life, you're not feeling relaxed and like there's a place to kind of exhale into and trust and let go, that a lot of comes up, and it's all real stuff, but it's intense. So the long and the short of it, the fun fact is that it was absolutely the opposite during my pregnancy. It was actually amazing. I felt so good. I wasn't grumpy. I don't think once. I mean, maybe it happened, but I don't think so. I was on this high. And at the end of this video, I have another fact, which is going to be super interesting. So don't miss it, because it's one of the things that comes up a lot, for you guys have mentioned. So that's one. Okay, let's keep going. What else we've got here from other people? So another fun fact, that you can get pregnant, and this is important for those of you who don't have your period anymore, that you can get pregnant even when your period has stopped. And it's not necessarily mean that you don't have any eggs. And I know this because I know people who restarted their period. I know people who have gotten pregnant and but before that had been told, like, forget it, it's not happening. And then they went to the doctor and, oh, look, wow, you have lots of eggs, like a 20-something-year-old. So, science and your intuition have to kind of work together. If you have a feeling like, yeah, but this isn't right, investigate, be curious, get other opinions. Then I want to mention some people who, fun facts, I'm sorry, I keep saying that, that have gotten pregnant later. So Barbara Higgins in Hampshire, USA, March 20th, 2021. I started having these dreams that I wanted to have a child. And I thought, okay, Barb, that's a little crazy, she said. And after much searching, she found an in vitro fertilization clinic in Boston that would treat somebody over 50. And then, it happened. So she was in her 50s, and she said, Jack is here. He's a little boy on the planet, and he gets to live a life, regardless of whether or not you think it's okay. And nobody gives birth to a baby and knows with any certainty that they will be alive to see their baby grow up. And I thought this was a really good point, because you don't know. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't want anything to happen, but at any age something could happen and you could live super long, and you can look at your own history, and you can also look at the history that you're changing according to the life that you're living right now. So I wanted to put that out there. Have you heard anything like this before? Have you heard the opposite? I'd love to hear down in the comments on the replay, or if you're here. Then we've got Gianna Nini, gave birth at 56 in 2010. Dawn Brooke Guernsey, I'm sorry if I say that wrong, conceived at 59 years old in 1997. 59 people, just got to say that. And then we've got Madi Ergama of Hyderabad. She was the oldest woman to date to conceive at 74. It was in vitro with C-section and twin girls. Also the oldest to have twin girls. Before that, there was a woman in Punjab who was in her 70s. She'd been with her husband for 46 years. And then we've got people who are over 40, like Julianne Moore, Susan Sarandon, Christy Brinkley, Meryl Streep. These are all women I really respect. And so I just want to say to the universe and the world out there, these women are smart people. They are smart women. They're kind women. They're good women on the planet. They're not going to do something that, is, I don't know. The reason I'm saying this is I went into some chats or on some forums in the last days, just kind of jumping in. And I got really stirred up because people seemed not okay with the fact that people were having babies over a certain age. And it's really none of their business. And the fact is that if they're not feeling it, then it's not for them. And if you are, it's for you. So, I mean, we've got Elizabeth Edwards. She's with a senator, and first child at 48, second at 50. Whoa. Naomi Campbell at 50. She had her first. Helen Morris, who's married to Martin Scorsese, conceived in the 90s. I forgot, 1990 something. I think 99. And she had a daughter at 52. And so Bridget Nielsen was 54. Thank you for my client who passed that on. And she said, let's see, she shared her happiness with, okay, my pregnancy was so for me. Still, I thought, wow, at 54, can you expect to never get back to normal? But after I gave birth, I went back feeling completely myself again after 2.5 weeks. Now, everybody's going to have their own reality, but I love to plant that seed that if it's happened with anybody else, I love that it was 11/11 when I said that. If it happened with anyone else, it can happen with you. And then some. You can also create your own miracle, which was inspired by another client, earlier in the year who I just had a short time with in Oakland. But man, that was a good reminder, definitely can be that miracle. There was another one. So then I went into well, you know what? It's getting long, so I don't want to go too deep into it. I did promise you, I'm going to talk a little bit more about forums on another day, because that was really kind of got me stirred up. And I bet you feel that way when you're having your own self-talk and something's coming in, or if somebody says something, or you read something, or like I said with Google, you go in and you're like, why is it only all the crappy stuff that can happen? Why isn't there something that's inspiring, that's saying it's possible? If you're feeling pulled, it's for a reason. If you're being pushed, that's something else. Does that make sense? I'm just curious, down in the comments, do you feel pulled? Regardless of what anyone else says, regardless of your darkest days, if you're still feeling pulled or drawn, or it's still there in your sphere of what's meant to be, then you have to keep trusting that. If this is interesting for you, please like it so people can find it, subscribe if you're new. And I'm going to tell you that fun fact in just a moment, that last one. I do want to remind you that there are free things down in the description. Just write me directly in mail, since things are glitching out in the world, and I will send them to you. And the other piece is, that there's a survey or questionnaire if you'd like to be a part of answering or guiding how I move forward, because there's so many ideas I have and I'm super excited. And I want to do what works for you, because that's important to me. And it's going to be sooner than later, because regardless of what life throws at me, because it's been happening a lot, that things I go, okay, I'm going to launch something for you, open something up for you, and then we get sick or something else. Regardless, I have something in mind. So I'm excited to meet with you, to be able to support you in the way that you deserve, because it's a big, intense road. And I care about you, because I know what it's like to be there. I just want to say that. It's big. All right. It is Friday the 10th, and I'm thinking about you, and I'm thinking about, how you need some fun sometimes, which is why today happened. So to wrap up, I want to give you that last fact that I mentioned. So a lot of you have come to me and said, oh, my doctor or what I read is saying that I should lose a bit of weight, and I'm feeling like after I've got some pandemic pounds or stress transition pounds or whatever the reason is. There's a lot, with the losses and not having things happen and just life, things can be like that. And you can just be curvier. I am built curvier since I was little, so I totally get that. And what I wanted to mention to you is, here's the fun fact. I was worried, especially as I've had back issues, not necessarily related to weight, but definitely weight can challenge that. If you have more weight, that it pulls on different parts of, your hips and your back and what's going on with your belly. There's so many things connected. It's not just about weight. It's also about how we eat and things to eliminate, blah, blah, blah. You can still have a joyful path and eat what you love And that's what I'm coming to. When I got pregnant, might have been considered over the desirable weight. And yet, interestingly enough, I was so worried that I would have back problems, that I would be in a lot of pain, that I would get so enormous, it'd be hard to move, all of that. But when I got pregnant, something mysterious happened. In the first trimester, I lost a lot of weight. Not a concerning amount of weight. I was not worried. It was something like, I don't know, 20 pounds? I don't remember exactly. I just remember that I didn't vomit and I felt great. There were times then there was something like chicken or something, some bird-like thing or certain smells that I was like, oh, I can't be in the room with that. But I didn't vomit. I didn't get sick. And still, I was healthy. I was taking supplements. I was drinking lots of water. And I lost lots of weight. And I felt so great so that when the weight came, I was barely, if at all, over the weight that I was before. Maybe just a bit, but it was comfortable. And aside from that beginning part where the body's adjusting to pregnancy, my back was fine. So I just wanted to put that out there with that whole weight loss thing. That's a fun fact. You can actually lose weight in the right moment and gain it. It's not dangerous, not dieting. It just can happen naturally that your body does what it needs for you when you trust it, when you believe in it and yourself. And that's what this channel is about. So thank you so much for being here today. If you're new, subscribe. If you've been here before, thank you for being in our international circle. Regardless, we're so happy. I'm so happy. I don't know why I say we. We as in the general we of the earth. To be here to inspire, to remind you, to encourage you, to go deeper when it's necessary or it feels right. Because you deserve your midlife pregnancy, a joyful fertility path, and that baby in your arms or babies if that's what you're meant for. And that's part of the exploring too. Anyway, I wish you a beautifully imperfect day. Jump down the description if you want to click on anything or send me a mail and say, yeah, I want something around loss, or yeah, I want something around the 7 steps to pregnancy, healthy pregnancy, or yeah, I want to be involved in answering some questions. It's just 3 to 6 minutes depending on how fast you read. And that's it. Have a great weekend. I will see you next Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific. Keep your eyes open. If you're on Instagram, Ariel Green Anderson, you can join the conversation, though I don't do a lot there. I'm here more probably, but all right. Take care. See you soon. Bye.